Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Hambone here, and in today's video we're going to do a beginner's guide for Dauntless in 2021. This is for the Dauntless Reforged update, and I felt like this was necessary because my 2020 guide is completely outdated and it is still getting a bunch of views. So I thought that, since I don't want to give outdated information, I would go ahead and update that guide and make this new one for 2021 and for the Reforged update. So without any further ado, let's jump straight on into this video. We got a few topics to talk about today, and we're going to try to do it in a timely manner. So, because I know your time is valuable, just as mine is, so let's jump on into the video. Okay, first things first, daily bounties are very important in the Reforged update. And if you don't know how to get daily bounty tokens, which you need to do daily bounties, what you got to do, you start out in Ramsgate and you look to your left. There's a little bit like a big flashy building, big tall area with an arched doorway. Okay, that is the in-game store that's actually in-game. So that's the store that's present you can visit. Okay, you got to go there and there's a fountain there. You're going to flip a coin into the fountain. It's just that simple. You push whichever button is your interact button on whatever you're playing, and you flip a coin into the fountain. Bada bing, bada boom, you got 4 daily bounty tokens. Now, those tokens can be used to draft up some daily bounties, and you want to do this because it gives you a lot of weapon XP. It gives you 200 weapon XP per bounty, and, I mean, that's not a lot, but that's more than you get per kill on a behemoth, so take that as what you will. And you get that weapon XP. You also get some rams and different things. But you want to do this every day. This is kind of something to strive for every day because it's meaningful progress every single day. It's going to be 800 weapon XP every day regardless. As long as you complete those 4 bounties, you're getting 800 weapon XP every day. And because they're going to make you play for like 45 minutes or an hour or whatever, you're going to get XP that whole time too. So it's going to be, doing your bounties every day is going to be meaningful progress that you can visibly see in the long term as you go throughout playing the game. What you also want to do is make sure that even if you can't play, let's say that you can log on for 5 minutes, okay? You take that 5 minutes and you go and you flip a coin in the fountain. That's 4 more bounty tokens that you didn't have. And now those just sit and wait on you to use them. So let's say that you can't play for 3 or 4 days. Let's say you can't play for a whole week. Well, you got a week's worth of bounty tokens to be able to be used on Saturday when you can play all day long. So now you've got bounties all day long, and so now you're building up massive amounts of experience, and you haven't really missed any progress, if that makes sense. Other than a little bit of grinding time, but you haven't really missed any progress. And so it's always a good idea, if you can log on at all, to do so and get these bounty tokens every day, even if you don't use them, because they they just kind of pile up. So it's always a good idea to get those every day. Next thing we're going to talk about is getting the glider as soon as possible, and I do mean as soon as possible because it makes traversing the island so much better. The hunting grounds is just much, much better to walk around, or fly around rather, when you have the glider, because having to walk everywhere kind of sucks whenever people are flying around with gliders, and flying around with gliders is a lot quicker, which is going to get you more experience per hour, which is going to level you up quicker, get more crafting materials. It's just all around a better idea to use your glider whenever you can. So in order to use a glider, you have to first unlock it in the Slayer's Path. Super simple, just unlocking a node costs a little bit of rams and some combat, or exploration fame. I'm using fame because I've been playing Albion, but it's not fame, but you know what I mean. Merits, there you go. Exploration merits is really super simple. Easy process to unlock the glider, and then you've got the glider and you can use it in the hunting grounds, which makes a big difference. Now, another big tip for the hunting grounds is you can in fact resupply once per hunt by using supply grades. So let's say that you're out in the hunting grounds and you're run out of healing potions. You're just completely out. You've been fighting behemoth after behemoth after behemoth after behemoth, and you say, well, I got to go all the way back to Ramsgate and sit through some long loading screens. If you're on console especially, you know what I'm talking about. Sit through some long loading screens just to refill my potions. That's just pitiful. Well, actually what you can do is go to your emote menu and drop a supply crate in the game, and you only get 1 of these per hunt, so use it wisely, once you're out of potions fully, and it heals you, and then you get a restock on your potions. Plus, you can also change your equipment. So let's say you've been using the axe for a couple hours, and you're like, man, I'm tired of using the axe right now, I'm just going to go use some chain blades. You can do that just as easily by taking and dropping your little resupply crate, and then changing over to the chain blades. As long as you're standing next to the crate, you can change your weapons and armor freely. You only get 1 of these per hunt, keep that in mind, so use it wisely. If someone else is to use theirs next to you, you can use theirs as well. So do keep that in mind. Sharing is caring. Share the wealth a little bit with your supply cache. Make sure your group is prepared to be able to use your supply cache if you care about that sort of thing. Next thing on the list is share the healing ether vents, and please do this. I can't tell you how many times that I've needed to heal. I'm out of potions. I can't drop my crate. We're in a big fight, especially in the events now, which you also need to do, by the way. The events that come in every 15 minutes and on the hunts, they give you combat merits, which is how you level up in the Slayer progression, in case you haven't noticed. And also, a bunch of rare materials a lot of times and some rams. Very, very good idea to do these events. They just pop up randomly. It'll notify you. It'll give you a couple minutes to get there from wherever you're at on the island. It'll notify you of the events. They're very fun, and most of the time they can be quite challenging. There's some events that are really, really challenging where you have to fight two of a certain type of behemoth that's annoying to fight, if I'm honest, but they give you pretty decent rewards. Doing this will allow you to level up Slayer's progression even more and better, quicker in your Slayer's progression, so that's always a good thing to do. But back to the healing vents. Let's say that you know what the healing vents are. I'm assuming that everyone knows what they are. If you don't, they will, of course, have been on screen by this point. They're just little old spriggly things that stick up out of the ground, and they're blue, like a light blue, and you hold down your use button next to them, and they heal you. This is something that heals. It's for everybody in your group. So let's say there's 6 of you fighting a behemoth. If you go and use all of the Aether Vent healing up, no one else can use those until they respawn, which is sometimes for forever, and it will definitely be after that fight is over with. I can promise you that. So try to share these vents. Don't just go and take all the healing from them, because it kind of sucks whenever you really need it and you're trying to go get it and then you realize somebody's taking it all. Sharing is caring, so do share when it comes to the event healing. Okay, find a weapon that you like, that suits you, and stick to it. Because of the new reforging system, there is really a emphasis put on, if you will, making sure that you're using a weapon, over and over and over and over and over again, because you want to power level that weapon. Because once you get level 20 with that weapon, you reforge it, then you get points that you put into a tree, which makes all of your weapons more powerful. So reforging something like the axe is going to make everything more powerful. So the more times that you reforge something, the better off you'll be, because all of your weapons will be more powerful. Then you can use whatever you want. And I'm not saying you can't use whatever you want, but if you spread out and use a bunch of different weapons like I do, it's going to kind of take you a lot longer to get to any of them that'll be reforgeable. Whereas if you just main a weapon for 8 to 10 hours and you got it reforged a few times, and everything is all hunky-dory, because it's now you're better off, because you're more powerful than somebody who played those 8 to 10 hours with every weapon in the game and maybe only reforged 1 or 2 of those weapons once, maybe. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot better. You'll be a lot better off, and I did not mean to slap my keyboard there. You'll be a lot better off if you focus on a weapon and reforge it enough to make it where it's beneficial to you, to make it where it makes you more powerful. That's a good idea and something to do. Now, I'm going to have a video on the Slayer system, the Slayer trees and all that stuff, but there's also some other videos on, I believe, Odo and Revirad made a couple videos about the Slayer progression and all that stuff. So if you want to check their videos out, be sure to do so. They make some pretty good Dauntless content, and they're probably about the best guys around for Dauntless videos, if I'm honest. But watch them, watch plenty of guides on YouTube is what I'm kind of getting at with my next one. Watch plenty of guides, and on some of the systems in the game are kind of nuanced. So watching a guide, or watching build guides even, like they have some pretty nice build guides out. Watching some build guides, all these different guides, that's taking in as much Dauntless content as possible is how you're going to get better outside of playing the game. So be sure that you're watching these guides and sticking with these guides, watching these, making sure that you understand the nuanced systems of the game and the way the game works. And for my final tip, and this one is one that you'll expect if you watch my previous videos, always, 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 always pet the dog before you go on a hunt. And they have changed his location, but he is still there. And he does look like Max from The Grinch. I have to admit, he looks an awful lot like Max from The Grinch. He just got one horn tied to his head. But always pet the dog before you go on the hunt. He gets sad if people don't pet him. If people just ignore him, and a lot of people do, he just gets sad. So always, always, always pet the dog before you go on the hunt. This has been Hambone here. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. I sure have enjoyed making it. And be looking forward to some more Dauntless content coming in 2021. I'm going to get back into the game pretty fully. I do like the Reforged Reforged update. I have had a lot of fun, and so I hope you guys are having a great day so far, and I'll see you in the next video. Always pet the dog. See ya, bye.